Okay, how you doing? Welcome to week 3. This one's all about using our knowledge of money. So it's going to be a bit of budgeting, a bit of profit, basically how you can use money to your advantage. I'm going to go through the first example as is, so you can copy along and you can watch and then try it on your own. The next few examples are pretty much exactly the same. I've just changed the numbers a little bit. So again, you can have a look, but your answers will be a little bit different. You need to think a little bit more about it. Okay, so for part 1, we're going to say our friend, I do not know how we're going to pronounce this. I think it's Onu. We're going to stick with that. He earns a net salary of 39. Now it's split over the page. It's $39,135 per annum. Okay, that split's just a little bit weird because of printing. And then the table below shows his monthly expenses. So we've got our expenses, our costs, okay, down the side. So the usual, you got rent, transport, food, internet, blah, blah, blah. And we've got the cost of those things down the right. And that was for each month. Okay. So we're going to go through these questions. So part A is asking, what is owner's total expenses each month? So our total is always going to mean add up all of your options. And our expenses are just this list right here. So our total is just going to be what we get when we add each of those options together. So if you've got a calculator handy, you'll probably beat me. We get $2,236 a month is all expenses. So whatever he earns, he's spending $2,236 at each month. Okay, so now we're going to look a little bit at percentages, which can be a little bit tricky. All right, we're looking at what percentage of his expenses. Now keep in mind, we just figured out what his expenses was. That was that 2,236. We want to know what percentage is rent. So what we're going to do at the start is we're going to figure out, well, how much is rent? And that's going to be this up here. So it's $1,600. So when we figure out percentages, we're always going to do how much is this out of the total, and then we'll worry about a percentage in a minute. Okay, so if I say, well, 1,600 is rent out of $2,236, and I'll pop that into my calculator. I've used a fraction there because it's a bit of a habit. Okay, you could also, if you don't have a fancy calculator, just hit divide and do the same thing. If you pop that in, you should get 0.71556, blah, 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 blah. Let's just go to, I'll say 2 decimal places. So again, that's those 2 spots. On that second spot, we're saying, is 15 closer to being 10 or 20? Now, 15 is a really hard one because the 5 is actually going to round up. It's closer to being 20 than it is to being 10. So we're going to round that 1 up into a 2. Now you'll notice that 0.72 is just my answer. It's not actually a percentage. Be careful, the answer is not 0.72%. Just like we were talking about last week, whenever I want something as a percentage, I need to make it out of 100. So for this answer here, I just need to times this by 100, and I'm going to get 72%. Now you might have rounded at the end, so you might have gotten your yucky answer at this point, and then just hit times 100 on your calculator, and then gotten something here. That's totally fine as well. I'm happy for you to do it either way. Okay, so part C, how much does owner save each month? So we know back from the start of the question that he earns 39,000. Was it 135? Yep, $135 per annum or in a year. We're talking months here, so I need to split that into his monthly income. Grab your calculator, type it in, and you get $3,261.25 in a month. So that's how much he's bringing in. And remember, his expenses back there was $2,200. So he's making just over $1,000 profit every month. Okay. Oh, well, that was the question. That's what we're figuring out. So how much does he save each month? That would be our total that he earns, take away all of his expenses, which was our 2236. Again, chuck that into your calculator. We'll get an exact answer. And I get 1,025 and 25 cents. So that's how much is left over after all of these expenses up here. Okay, finally, if Ono wants to invest, so put into a bank account, $500 each month, or at least $500 each month, we want to know what is the maximum amount he can spend on entertainment. Now, entertainment isn't in this table here, so entertainment must be an extra cost. So really what we're saying is, if he's saving 1,025.25 every month, if at least 500 of that needs to go into a savings account, that's what that 500 is, then how much is left over to spend on entertainment or whatever else he might spend it on? So all we're going to do here is we're going to figure out what that answer is. If you take away $500, you should get $525.25. Okay, so that's saying with all of his money, take away all of his expenses, okay, that leaves him with 1,025.25, that's here. If he pops 500 of that straight into a savings account each month, he's left with this much for the whole month for all of his entertainment, maybe it's takeout, stuff like that. Cool. Okay, so part 2. We have a shop that sells a computer for $825. However, it must mark the price up by 10%. Now, a mark up means we're going to be increasing the price by 10%. So, part A, how much money will the markup add to the price of a computer? In other words, it's saying, well, what is 10% of $825? Okay, so 10% of $825. Type that into your calculator and you should get $82.50. That's it. That's our 10%. That's what we're adding on. All right. Part B is going to ask, well, what's the new price? So if it was $825, okay, and I'm adding on $82.50, then what must my new price be? And again, you just grab yourself a calculator or your phone, chuck those together, and you're going to get $907. And it says just 0.5 on my calculator, but remember with money, we're always going to go to 2 decimal spots because that's 50 cents. It's not 5 cents. Cool, that's it. All right, so part 3, a shop buys an item for $180. So maybe from a supplier, wholesale, they buy it in bulk, and then they sell each item for $203.99. What we want to know is what profit the shop makes. So the word profit is like extra money. Okay, it's how much extra did the store make by marking the price up. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to figure out, well, how much extra did they get? It was $203.99. Take away what they paid for the item, and they're going to be getting $23.99 per item. Okay, that is, okay, so for part B, it's asking for the profit markup on this item. Now, technically, the profit markup is just that $23.99. And so if you were just to write that, that would be totally fine. What I meant by this question, which I probably should have written, is this as a percentage. Okay, so whenever we're doing our percentages, we're always going to do our profit, okay, out of or divided by the original cost. So in this case, our extra bit, our profit, is 23.99, and our original cost is 180 bucks. Cool. So if you grab your calculator and you pop that in, you get 23.99 divided by 180, and we're going to get 0.13. Now remember, we always want this as a percentage, okay? And that means times by 100. And so I should get a 13% markup. Okay, that's the profit markup. That's the percentage it's gone up by. So then for part C, we're going to find the selling price. So a new selling price, not this 203, okay, if the item is marked up by 77%. So that's going to be a significant amount more. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our $180, okay, and we need to figure out, well, what is 77% of 180? Whenever we figure out a percentage of, I could write this the other way, it might make a little bit more sense. We're doing 77% of, is always going to be a times, our cost, or our price, which was 180 bucks. If you pop that into your calculator, so you go 77% times 180, you should get 138.6. Now, what's really important to keep in mind is that's not actually the cost yet, that's the profit. So that's the markup. That's how much extra the store is making on that purchase. So it's $138.60 extra on top of the $180 cost. Okay, so that's how much we're going to be selling this item for, 138.60 plus 180. We're selling it for $318.6. We'll make these 60s, all right? So 0.60. Cool. All right, last one we're going to go through here. We've got Jenna. She buys her car for $8,400, and then she sells it to a mate for $6,310. So what we want to know is how much money did she lose through the sale? We know it's a lose, okay, a loss, because she bought it for this much and then she sold it for less than that. Maybe she got a few years out of it, okay, but the question doesn't give us that. So what we need to figure out is it started at 8,400, take away this new sale price, and we're going to get an answer of $2,090. That's how much she lost, or how much less she sold it for. So now, when we're doing markup, we're talking about markup percentage or profit increase, the percentage it's gone up by. What we're going to do now is percentage loss. It's a really similar idea, super simple. We're going to take our loss, which is just our answer from that question before, 2,090, and we need to figure out, well, how much is 2,090 out of the original? Now, the original cost is what she paid for it, so $8,400. You can pop that straight into your calculator if you like. Again, sorry, I'll write it how you're probably doing it on your phone. That'd be divided by, was it 8,400? Yep. Type it into your calculator, and you should get 0.2488, blah, 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 blah. We might round it now and just call it 0.25. Again, we're looking at that second spot. 48 is closer to 50 than it is 40, so we turn that 4 into a 5. Now again, 0.25 doesn't mean anything yet because I need to make it a percentage, per meaning times, cent meaning 100. I'm going to get an answer of 25%. And that's my percentage lost, okay, compared to what she paid for it and what she sold it for. Okay, so have a go at the very least, have a go at these questions where the numbers are just different. You can follow these steps along, pause, rewind, slow down. Again, email us if you have any questions. And then there's a couple of harder questions down there as well, like question 5. Okay, and then the big task that I really need you to do this week is all about piecework. Okay, piecework is people who earn their money or their wage based on how many pieces they produce. So a really obvious example might be like an artist that earns money based on each piece they create. Okay, it could also be jobs. So maybe a handyman that gets paid by the job, electrician, stuff like that. Okay, I want you to come up with 5 professions that earn money from piecework. You can Google it or you can ask people. Okay, and then what I want you to do is for each profession, I just want you to find one example. I don't care how real it is. Like you can just find some rough examples on the internet, even if they're dodgy looking yellow pages ones. And I want you to tell me how much they're paid per piece. Okay, so for example, maybe I find an artist, and maybe that artist is selling her work on the internet. Maybe it's $350 per piece. Cool, there's one done. I just want you to find an example for 5, and that's your job for the whole week. Awesome. Good job, guys.